What got you into mixed martial arts? I've heard a lot of rumors, a lot of stories that you got in after high school. You didn't have enough money to get into college, so you went to fight. I also hear that your first competitive fight was against the guy that was hitting on your girlfriend. Is there any truth to that?
There's two reasons why I started fighting, kind of three. I wrestled all throughout high school, and once I graduated, I knew that I didn't have any money. I wasn't going to go to college. I wasn't real close with any of my family or my mother or my father. I knew I wasn't going to get any money from them. So when I got out of high school, I was kind of getting in with the wrong crowd and getting into trouble and mischief. So I knew to stay out of trouble, I needed to do a sport and something that would take up most of my free time. So I had a girlfriend at the time, and this guy was kind of hitting on my girlfriend at the time, and it was a guy that I knew from high school who wrestled on a different high school team, and we didn't like each other too much to begin with, and I actually heard his name on a local radio station, and they were talking about coming to check him out. He was undefeated, and he was doing this Friday night fight thing, and so I was like, well, if I can't fight him out on the streets, then I'm definitely going to go sign up to fight him, and I went and signed up, and he ended up being 2 weight classes heavier than me, so we didn't fight each other, but, I went down there and signed up to fight, so I said, just put me up against whoever I was meant to fight. It was a huge adrenaline rush, and I liked it. I had people asking me where I trained, and I finally got picked up, from a local gym and whatnot, and just been running with it as far as I can. I really, really enjoy it, and it's kept me out of trouble, so...
Well, it seems like you really enjoy it. And I do recall you saying that you fight scared. You said your coach said there's nothing wrong with fighting scared because you don't want to get hit. That means you're not going to get hit, or at least you're not going to get hit as often. You also seem like when you were out there, you never really lost your cool, and you always kept a good way about you. Even when you had Bisping shouting at you, are you glad that Hendo shut him up?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was nice when Hendo fought him. That nice knockout. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that, people don't get to see, and it definitely opened up my eyes being on the show. It's not all glitz and glamour and as great as it's made for the public eye. It's nothing like that.
How you were portrayed on the show, is that completely different than who you are in real life?
It's funny because I was actually at these local fights the other night, and Elliot Marshall was there. It was funny, we were in the locker room, and I was with some guys that I train with, just helping them out for the fight, and this guy in the locker room asked me, he's like, were you really bragging about all the girls and stuff that you'd been with? I was like, no, I wasn't, and the guy was like, well, I bet you don't get much flack for that, and I just kind of left it at that. It was funny because Elliot was like, you got those cameras in your face 24/7, for 7 weeks straight. He's like, the cameras don't lie. Well, the cameras don't lie, but they are definitely edited to make you, look a certain way. And one of the things was like that exact moment where they made it look like I was bragging about sleeping with a bunch of girls or whatever, and that I had slept with a friend's supposable wife or whatever. We were actually sitting down, and I was talking about things that I had regretted in the past, and probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made was sleeping with a pretty good friend's wife. That's been a big thing that weighs on my conscience, and I just, that's forget about it and learn from my mistakes. It's not really, I don't know, it's a touchy subject.
I'd heard a lot of people giving you a lot of crap about getting emotional, saying that you were homesick. That's another one of those situations, I would assume, where the stress was getting to you? I mean, how many times do you fight? And can you fight in 7 weeks without your body giving out on you,
That was the night of Richie's birthday, and Richie, was obviously in the house on his birthday, and the coaches came over, and I had a few drinks, so I was a little liquored up, I'll admit it, I'm emotional sometimes, and being locked in the house and just, tempers flaring and dirty looks and, the animosity, and you never know if you're going to be next to fight or not, and when I was in the house, I was me, if I was going to cry, I didn't care. I didn't run into the other room and try to hide. I was myself, and I was kind of pouring my heart out, I guess you could say, to Frank and to Coach Henderson, I think that made it a little bit easier for them to portray me in different aspects.